Hello, Lions fans, and welcome to episode 59 of Just Lying Around, a Detroit Lions podcast presented by the World of Football. I'm your host, Kyle Sutherland, and I am back from the dead. Got over my poison ivy rash all over my face, my arms, and my legs. Had to take a few weeks off, so that's why we haven't come out with a couple episodes recently. But I am not alone. I am joined by my co host and brother in law, Adam Snow. Adam, how are you doing? And how was this game for you today?
Well, I'm doing good. Glad to have you back, Kyle. Yes, you're looking great, by the way. You no longer look like Two-Face from a Batman movie, so that's a positive.
Yeah.
I do think we need to start looking into getting a third stringer for the podcast because I mean the show doesn't go on if you're out, bud. We need to figure out who's your replacement in case you go down with injury. God
Yeah.
forbid. But no, so this game, I was at work for most of the first part of the game, and I had to go to the store after work, and so I caught most of the second half of this one, but I caught up a little bit on it, and I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty to talk about here, and we've missed a couple games, so I'm sure we can also kind of catch up real quick on what we've been thinking so far during the preseason. I mean, preseason doesn't matter anyway. I could give two squirts of urine about the preseason. So I can't wait to get to real football, and we're just 1 week closer.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, you missed the better part of the game, but it doesn't matter to us necessarily, but I think it's going to matter to someone we're going to talk about here shortly. But on today's show, we're going to cover the third preseason game versus the Dolphins, cover some training camp news, and then look ahead at the last preseason game versus the Texans next week. So we'll jump into it here. We had the Lions 17, Dolphins 24. Um, like I said, first half, they had Kyle Allen in, the backup quarterback, veteran quarterback, jumped around team to team. He had a lot better outing this game, and then they had Hendon Hooker second half, and basically the offense really didn't do anything. And Hendon Hooker ended up throwing an interception on the last play of the game. So I'm gonna say it right now. Hendon Hooker he's got to get a fire under his butt, or I wouldn't be surprised if they cut him because they're not gonna have three quarterbacks on this roster this year. Hendon Hooker got drafted 3 years ago. That was before Goff had his extension, so they were looking at a backup plan. But now that Goff's got his extension, and then Hooker playing like crap, I think they're just going to get rid of him because you got to think too, he's not putting any tape out there worth any other teams looking at. So you never know, he could end up being on the practice squad. But it was not good for Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw, because I mainly just saw Hooker playing live, he holds onto the ball an awful long time.
Yeah.
He made some questionable decisions. He had a couple good throws, a few questionable decisions. It's his awareness in the pocket just doesn't seem to be quite there yet. I mean, if he gets pressure in his face and he knows he's going to run, one thing, he can usually make something happen with his feet, and he did, but a big thing during this game was the penalties. So it seems like every time he did something good with his feet, penalty brought it back. But I think when it comes to he's got to get the throw, he's got guys around him, guys in his space, like the interception at the end of the game there. Bad decision. I think 9 times out of 10, though, that defender doesn't actually catch it. That's one of the few times I've seen a defender actually like right there and actually snagged it in. But I don't know. Hooker, I'm not saying he's a lost cause. I'm not saying they should cut bait. But I have not been thrilled with him through 3 preseason games now. And I try not to, I mean, it's hard to evaluate, I think, truly, until you get to meaningful games. That's kind of my philosophy. But I mean, we're judging these guys, based on consistency. Like, can you stay consistent? with the hopes of you play higher end talent, you're going to be able to still perform. And there's only a couple of guys I think on this roster that have done that, at least the guys who've played during the preseason. So I don't know. With Hooker though, yeah, he's on the outside. I think he's looking at maybe potentially getting cut or bumped to the practice squad.
Yeah, well, let's see the last game here, but let's run through a couple key players' stats here for the Lions. You had Kyle Allen, 14 of 17 for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jackson Meeks, not just this week, but last week too, really shining out there for the preseason games. He had 7 receptions, 93 yards, and 1 touchdown. And everyone's favorite white receiver wide receiver there, Isaac Tisslaw, or as 94 won the ticket would say, coleslaw.
So was that what? Hold on. So was that a joke? Were you trying to say white receiver, or did you actually fumble that joke up? Like I don't.
Yeah, I fumbled it. I meant to say wide receiver.
Man, you take 3 weeks off, and this is what becomes of you.
Well, anyways, he had 4 receptions, 41 yards, and a really awesome contested catch for a touchdown. Did you get to see that, Adam?
I did watch the highlight. I saw a few of the the big plays like that. And Tesla, while the numbers aren't flashy, look, him getting in the end zone, I think the big thing is, yes, he got in the end zone, and it was a contested catch that I thought he fought and won that battle with that corner, and I thought he looked great. And with Meeks has been very impressive over 2 weeks. I don't know. I would say it gives him a spot over like a Tom Kennedy, gives a guy who's always like that fringe wide receiver 5. But I think Meeks, and I read somewhere, is he not the nephew of Zadarius Smith? Is that true?
I think I might have heard something like there's a nephew of Zadarius Smith on the team right now. I don't know if that's him or not.
Yeah, Jackson Meeks. Yep, is the nephew of Zadarius Smith.
All right, yeah, and
Interesting.
for everyone hoping that Zadarius Smith gets back on the team, it sounds like him and his girlfriend have hooked back up, so he might be staying in Detroit. So we'll have to wait and see. But a couple other players here. Jacob Sailors, 13 carries for 39 yards. On the Dolphins side, we had Zach Wilson, 15 of 23 for 151 yards and 1 touchdown. And Theo Weiss Jr., kind of saw him a lot during the second half. Had 6 receptions, 80 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So that's the stats there. Overall, total yards, the Dolphins had 357 yards and Lions 274. Passing yards, Dolphins had 259 yards and the Lions had 170. And rushing pretty much equals out to 100 yards apiece. And yards per play, Dolphins won with 5.9 yards per play. So, yeah, just we already talked about Kyle Allen was in the first half. Basically, marched up and down the field with the offense. Looked pretty good out there, hitting his receivers, kind of leading that offense. And we already talked about it too. Hendon Hooker just doesn't look good out there right now. I don't know if. I wonder if Dan Campbell and them are gonna sit him down and say, "Hey, you got one more shot, and this is it," or we're gonna have to let you go or something because I don't know. Even when he's scrambling out there, he just looks lost. So
So
we'll have to
do you
see.
think then? Do you think he gets like the whole game, preseason game number 4? They give him that shot, or do you think they still split reps?
Um, I would like him to start, but I would like to have second stringers if they want to play a couple first stringers for that offense just to see what they can do. As far as like Mahogany or Ratledge on the offensive line, obviously Tislaw out there. I wouldn't start any of the big name people though. So Just give him a fair chance, I guess.
We'll see. I think you got to sit to Slaw. He's slotted. He's wide receiver number 3 now. Let him, you know, let him rest with the rest of the guys for a week. I think it was nice seeing Vaki out there. Vaki
Yeah.
back in the game there, so that was a pleasant note I saw today. Craig Reynolds didn't get a whole lot of action. It seems like he had 6 carries for 13 yards. I'm just like scrolling through some player stats. My favorite guy though, that Grant Stewart, has been
Oh
looking pretty
yeah.
good. I'm hoping he gets a roster spot. I feel like he's got the kind of grit that this team's looking for. So he's looked great.
Yeah.
I think ever since his opening kickoff return fumble during the Hall of Fame game, I think he's done nothing but
Oh
improve, and he impresses me out on the field.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think usually carry like 6 to 7 linebackers. So, you got your starting 3, and then Cunningham, Stewart, and a couple other linebackers. But yeah, I yeah, he's gonna make the team, no doubt. So, but yeah, talking about defense here, Lions cornerbacks, safeties, they did pretty good out there. Had I think it was 8 to 9 pass breakups during the game. They had a sack off the line. Ukwu lined up in the middle there, shed his block, and straight to Zach Wilson. I think that was a 4th down play too. So Lions got the ball back. Um,
There was one really nice play on defense. One of those pass breakups in the third quarter, I want to say, was it Luke Barku? Came in. It was like the perfectly timed pass
yeah,
breakup. I thought that was awesome. Guy whose name I can't say I've heard a whole lot during the preseason, but it was cool to see him, come and make a play. And I believe Nick Whiteside, which was one of their UFL signings, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah. Dan Campbell
Coming up,
calls him Ironside.
so he came up big. That's great to see. The Lions mining the UFL for some more talent, and I don't know. I know we lost this game. Who cares? It's whatever, preseason game. But I see a lot of good stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to be cleaned up, including the penalties, which we kind of talked about a little bit ago. 22 penalties during the game, 4 flags thrown that were picked up. These referees, just let the boys play. There's so many ticky tack little things. I know the refs need their practice too, but I mean, how much practice do you need throwing a flag, ref? Come on now. I don't think you need
I
a whole
think
lot of reps for that.
I think they threw 2 or 3 flags that they picked up on like kickoffs. It's like what? And they're like, oh no, no penalty. We're good. Like, what are you guys
What they
even
do have a
throwing
student
flags?
driver out there? Like,
What's that?
did they have like a student driver? Like a new ref out there. They were just like he's trying to get his ref license, so like he's just like throwing a flag every chance he gets.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they were just throwing it just to in case they saw something.
Hmm.
But yeah. Anything else you want to add about this game? I mean, overall,
I mean,
backups like you can't really judge anyone yet, except for I'm really worried about Hendon Hooker right now. I just from what I saw last couple of games, I just don't think he's going to make this roster.
I think that the main takeaway, and it's hard to evaluate. There's only a couple of positions I feel like during preseason games that you can get a real good sense of what's going on. The quarterback position is kind of one you would like to see your quarterbacks facing more, uh, not top tier talent, but like facing guys who will probably be starting. You'd like to see that just to see what what he's seeing while they're playing vanilla defenses and defenses that are not the full playbook coming at you. If you struggle against a vanilla defense, I mean, that's tough, man. That stinks. Kicker's the other position, and I think whoever they got kicking out there for the Lions right now is doing an excellent job. I think his name's Jake Bates. He's looking great. Their punter's looking great too. I hope they keep them on the roster. Uh,
Yeah,
and some of these young receivers, we see it every year. There's usually a couple of darling running backs, a couple darling wide receivers that we all get enamored and fall in love with during the preseason, that are ultimately going to get cut or become practice squad guys. But I really do think, from what I've seen from Tesla, again, not an expert, just telling you what I see on the field. I see a kid who's going to be a very solid fit for the Lions. As good as Meeks has been too, and as much as I like him, I won't say he's giving me Tom Kennedy vibes. I think he's just like a smidge above what Tom Kennedy's been doing for the Lions the last few years. And Kennedy just makes practice squad, or he's the guy that called during the middle of the season if there's an injury. But we'll see. Meeks, seems like he's got a nose for, yards after the catch, making good plays. So they might have found a couple guys on defense. We already talked about, what's his name? Grant
Stewart.
Stewart. I've been liking watching him. There's a couple of corners, Whiteside being one of them, that I've liked seeing, making some good heads up play. So Dan Campbell's, he says it every year, the cutting down this roster is going to get harder and harder, especially with the amount of talent they already have on the team.
Yeah.
Trying to find new talent to fit in with what they got, that's a tough task. I trust Dan. I trust Brad.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's jump into training camp news. The Lions had joint practices with the Dolphins last week. First day of practice. A lot of talk out there that Lions basically took the Dolphins out back to the shed and just beat the crap out of them. I guess the Amon-Ra St. Brown had his way with them, 7 for 7 catches. Everything perfect. Hutchinson was a problem all day long in the backfield. But I guess like the second day kind of equaled out until they got to the 11 on 11s, and then the Lions kind of took over from there. So from the sounds of it, I think that this defense, barring everyone stays healthy, is going to be a big surprise, and I think it's going to catch everyone off guard and how good they're going to be. So we'll have to wait and see on that one, but I think they're going to be a big problem for the NFL.
And I hope that as long as you don't get anywhere near any of these guys with your bad, weird juju of the weird injuries you've had, falling face first into a patch of poison ivy, I mean, we don't need that, Kyle. Just stay as far away from this team as you can. We don't need that rubbing off on them.
Yeah. And then, on the offensive side, like you got a bunch of weapons there too. But the biggest thing for the offensive side is that offensive line and how quickly they can gel, start out the season there. I guess it's already determined that Graham Glasgow will be the starting center with Ratledge and Mahogany at the guard position. So basically, you got a veteran, rookie, veteran, rookie, veteran. So the way Mahogany plays and Ratledge plays, I don't really see a problem with the offensive line. But like I said, it's just going to be a matter of time for them to couple games to gel together.
Yeah, it'll take a few games. That's fine. And what a way to get baptized into this offensive line. You're playing 2 divisional opponents out of the gate. At Green Bay, home against Chicago. Those are going to be 2 tough games in the trenches for that offensive line. But we'll see. I like the moves. I think it's good to put the rookies there at the 2 guard spots and let a Glasgow take over at center for a bit, and maybe Ratledge gets comfortable enough to take over the center position. Then you can kick Glasgow back to the guard. They can do a bunch of different stuff. This offensive line depth doesn't have me super concerned. There's a couple guys like Manu who needs just a little bit more. Like today in the preseason game, I thought he had a couple of the penalties they threw at him, or the one for sure that they threw at him, I didn't agree with. I thought he played that one pretty clean, and they called some ticky-tack stuff. Otherwise, I thought he did a decent job. So, I mean, reps. That's the important thing.
Yep. That yeah. We'll have to wait. Manu, I think another training camp in this year, just learning. Like he's with what they say, he was training with not Ragnar, but
Sewell,
not Sewell. Who's the other tackle? Can't think of it.
Decker?
Decker. Yep, Taylor Decker.
Okay.
He was training
Man,
with him during the off season, so yeah, he just needs some reps, so should be all good. Okay, so last part here: Lions versus Houston, the last preseason game, Saturday, August 23rd at 1 p.m. Um, Not really anything to really talk about except for obviously they're not. I don't think they're going to play any starters, but this is like we already talked about Hendon Hooker's last chance to put up a quality game. Um, or the question is, will he be cut or not, or will the Lions carry three quarterbacks again this year?
I doubt that they'll carry 3 now. And I think what stinks is, the Lions had an extra preseason game, so that's extra time to evaluate these quarterbacks. Otherwise, it'd have been these 3 games, and if that's what we had to go on, I'd be saying, move on from Hooker. It's time. I won't say it was a wasted pick. It was a gamble. We all knew it was a gamble. He's not untalented, but he just hasn't. I don't think he's where he needs to be in terms of his development. Again, not a quarterback coach. I'm just telling you what I see when he's out there on the field. And I think he can still learn. We'll see what this next game does, how much time they give him to, run this next game, if he runs it at all, or if they give Kyle Allen some more reps. Hard to say. We'll see what their plan is. But I hate to say make or break Kyle, but it is starting to feel like that for Hendon Hooker. It really is. How many more chances is it going to get when we know Goff is your starter for the next 2, 3, 4 years? And then, Kyle Allen, he's a year-to-year, who knows? And if you're Hooker, you were a third-round pick. You're going to have to make a decision on his contract, I'm sure, next season, end of this season. I don't know how the extent of his contract, but they could probably just cut bait, move on, and find another younger quarterback and start the project process all over again. I have to wait and see.
Yeah, I got a question for you too. Let's say they do cut Hooker, and then Goff goes out for 3 or 4 games. Would you trust Kyle Allen to be the backup, or would you rather the Lions go out and get a veteran quarterback, like a backup? Like, I know the Browns have 4 quarterbacks right now. The New York Giants have 3. You could look at Jameson Winston, or
Jameis
is that
Winston?
it? Yeah, as a backup, or you got the Eagles' old quarterback still out there, not signed to any team yet.
Donovan McNabb hasn't signed with anybody?
No,
Oh.
the ones that I think he played for the Colts a little bit last year.
Oh, you're talking about Carson Wentz?
Yeah, he's still out there. Um, would you feel comfortable with Kyle Allen, or would you go out and get a different quarterback?
Boy, Kyle Allen's looked a little better. Like, I think he's gotten better as the preseason's gone along. I still don't know if I fully trust him yet or feel confident if Goff goes down that he's in there. I'd probably be like, well, pack it in, boys, or just hope to God they don't mess up a handoff to Montgomery or Gibbs, because I would be very, very nervous, to say the least. We'll see how things go next week, how these quarterbacks look. I was prepared. I had a whole list of quarterbacks that I was prepared to say put them in before either of these 2 bums after that first preseason game, but I didn't want to completely overreact, Kyle. Because there's some serviceable quarterbacks from the UFL, CFL, maybe even some arena and indoor quarterbacks that actually might do very well. I'm just saying, maybe even my local paper boy has a better arm than the 2 quarterbacks on the roster. I'm just saying. But we'll have to wait and see. I always say it, and I hate that it's a crutch answer, but I trust Brad and I trust Dan. I think they'll know what's best for this team. I think they see a lot more than we do, obviously. We just see what's in the game, but they had the joint practices, they had the practices, and I don't know if Kyle Allen gets it, he gets it. But a lot will be said if something happens and they go out and get a Carson Wentz, which I feel like is on the table. I feel like getting a Carson Wentz actually wouldn't be a bad move if that's the route they wanted to go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you got him, Jameis Winston if he gets cut, or even Joe Flacco. He's on the Browns right now, and they got half their dang rosters quarterbacks. So
Well, hold on.
um,
Joe Flacco's the starting number one certified quarterback there down there in Cleveland. Don't you go
I don't know.
Don't you go doing
You
that.
got Sanders,
Who?
Shador Sanders. I think he's going to be the starter.
Oh well, I don't see the fourth string quarterback on the depth chart jumping all the way up to being a starter in the regular season this early. Maybe eventually, depends on if they get rid of who's their second quarterback. I keep blanking on that because they got Flacco starting. Oh, is it Kenny Pickett? They got Pickett. Then they got
I
Dylan
mean, that's another
Gabriel.
one too.
I mean, I'm not enamored with Kenny Pickett, but I don't know. Maybe we trade for Shador. He was only a fifth round pick. Let's trade for Shador. Bring that circus to
Why?
Detroit.
I would just, I would wonder how the team would like the post game videos they come out after the team wins. You get your Dan Campbell up there doing his speech, and then right after that, you get Jameis Winston out there doing his speech. Um, after that,
Shoot, you get a Jameis Winston speech before, during, and after the game. Are you kidding me? The dude's a fun sound bite. I
he
I
does like
mean, I
throwing
don't know if
deep balls.
man, I don't know. Ask me in a week. We'll see how the quarterbacks look. Ask me then if we should go get a Jameis Winston. I need another week of looking at these quarterbacks because I'm indifferent right now. I think Kyle Allen looks serviceable. Hooker definitely needs the work to
Yeah,
make me even go, yep, put him in because he has flashes. He's had flashes of showing that he can do something, especially with those feet. It makes him a very dynamic player back there. But his decision making and his throwing decisions have my big question marks because when he's got the pressure, like I said earlier, his throws are not what you want, and that's what he's got to work on.
yeah. We'll have to see. Again, Lions next game versus Houston Saturday. Um, but yeah, anything else you want to add?
I think I'm good. Just glad to get back into the. Hey, I feel like we have too many breaks between these shows. We'll have one next week. I don't know if I can do it right after the game on Saturday, but I'm sure we'll have to have a before the season, after the preseason kind of video. So
Yeah, we'll figure out the timing. Maybe do it after the cuts, or depending on when that is, or after the game. So
we'll figure it out. We'll
let's
talk.
see.
We'll talk. Call me up, or the kids use this. Call me sometime. Whatever. But just let me know. We'll figure it out, and maybe we'll even do it live. We've been talking about doing a few live things. So
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and close it out for this week.
all right, guys, we hope you enjoyed listening or watching today's episode and come back for more. Be sure to visit the World of Football's website, www.theworldoffootball.com, for newest links, upcoming events, original articles, and more. If you want to get in touch with us, send us an email to info@theworldoffootball.com, or you can connect with us by either liking one of our many social media pages, including Facebook, X, Instagram, Threads now. So we'll be on those platforms. Links will be down in the episode description. Be sure to check out our flagship podcast, This Week in the World of Football, which is going to be celebrating its 8th anniversary show this upcoming Tuesday, the 19th. We're going to be live. We're still waiting to set a time for that, but we will be live on Tuesday for our 8th anniversary show. Again, those episodes drop every single Tuesday, and you can find us in your podcast feed wherever you find good podcasts. Again, guys, links and stuff for all those down in the description.
All right. That's it for us this week. Lions, again, last preseason game next week, Saturday. Be on the lookout for an episode after that, maybe after cut downs or right after the game. We'll have to wait and see. But thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, all that stuff. And we'll see you on the next one. And remember, go Lions.
Go Lions.